Riverston. Thank you so much, Warren. He's been a great friend in terms of helping out businesses and being supportive to the ideas, and we had conversations regarding the training courses and what are the important aspects and where there are needs of shortage of skills is there, and we need to support students, and we were talking about also the safety and quality standards, and I think Warren, your sharing and discussions were great, so I think your presence and support will be highly appreciated. And thank you so much for making today and supporting us and your participation today. Thank you, Warren. You want to say something? So Warren would like to say something, so I'll pass on.
Just very quickly, I don't need to dive on in the session, but you may have noticed I've got a little bit of a dirty thing on the top of my lip. That's for November. This month is November, and November celebrates and recognises men's health. It is all about bringing awareness towards men's health generally, specifically mental health, suicide prevention, testicular cancer and bowel cancer. So it's quite timely that we will be talking about bowel cancer here in this session today. So if you do see somebody getting around this month with a moustache, particularly someone who's just started growing a moustache, feel free to have a conversation with them, support them, donate to November, but most importantly, check in on the men in your life and recognise that they need to look after their own health as well.
Yeah. Such an important topic, and the month of the cancer, I can see there are a lot of community organizations, and I could see Lions as well, celebrating and making sure that people are aware of their health, and importantly, screening is so important, early intervention and prevention of cancer. And it needs a lot of awareness for people, and that's where we are here today to talk about, bowel cancer. So I've got our speaker here today. So Shika Arora. So I would like to give a brief introduction. So she's born in vibrant Delhi. Shika's journey has been inspirational and ambition. She took on extraordinary path. So at just 12 years old, she embarked on a life-altering adventure to Australia, equating a passion for international experiences, armed with bachelor's degree in business with specializations in law, banking, finance, and marketing. So she launched her career as a corporate bank trailblazer at Commonwealth Bank before setting sights even greater horizons at ANZ Bank's institutional banking division. But Shika's quest for life beyond border was insatiable. She ventured to Switzerland and Abu Dhabi, where she dwelled into dynamic world of International Air Transport Association. In a remarkable role, she served as the head of commercial, overseeing operations across 5 diverse countries. Well, the list goes on, like UAE, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, and Bahrain. Her dedication extended beyond her daily tasks, and she championed also in diversity and inclusion for the Middle East and African region. That's pretty good, yeah. Returning to her homeland, Australia, Shika delved into the standards and IT industry, assuming the esteemed position of head of account management. However, driven by her unrelenting desire to make a positive impact and inspire others, she decided to take a courageous from her corporate sector. From that courageous break, Shika emerged as a brilliant creator and founder of Dose of Inspirational Light, which I would like to hear from her on probably words. A dynamic social media group that actually spreads positivity far and wide, because social media is so much everywhere around and young people are so well connected. And she has expanded her reach by hosting insightful podcasts and YouTube, capturing moments of wisdom, motivation for her eager audience. Shika's unwavering commitment to community service led her to be the ambassador at CMRC as a multicultural ambassador. Her latest project is nothing short of extraordinary, a mission to promote healthy living and raise awareness about cancer prevention within her own community, which is a highly important and needed. Today she stands before us, ready to share her incredible journey experiences and the transformative power of community engagement. So, ladies and gentlemen, prepare to be inspired by remarkable Shika and her mission to light the way of healthier and happier tomorrow.
Wow, that's quite an introduction. Thank you. I hope I live up to that introduction. Thank you. Okay, are you guys ready? Yes. So, thank you very much for joining, some of you last minute. I hope you will be inspired, but this particular talk is under the umbrella of Community Migrant Resource Center. So I see a lot of migrants in the audience. So if you've been here less than 7 years, CMRC, our dedicated association supported by the federal government to help in any way possible. So from finding a job to helping in terms of any day-to-day logistics, you can contact them for CMRC. I'm a multicultural ambassador for them. I live in Ryde, so I also belong to the City of Ryde, so I also do multicultural ambassadoring for City of Ryde as well. And this project is in association with the Cancer Institute. Sorry. Okay, so there's going to be two parts to this presentation. One is on healthy living, and the presentation has been given to me by the Cancer Institute, so it's approved by them. So the material that I'm going to present is the latest material by the federal government. So you can be rest assured that research has been done, and everything that I'm telling you is probably credible based on the research by the Australian government, the Cancer Institute. All right, so there's going to be two parts. One is the healthy living part, and the other is the bowel cancer prevention part. So hopefully you'll learn something, and you can direct your parents or your loved ones to these better, healthier choices. Okay, before I start, of course, I have to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands of which we work and live, and recognize the continuing connection to land, water, and community. I pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Okay, so just let's start with a question, because I want to engage you guys. It's not just a one-way conversation. Of course, it's always good to listen to a speaker, but it's also good to be engaged as well. So, what does being healthy mean to you? Just any words. Anybody could tell me, what does being healthy mean to you? Surely it's a very simple question. Being healthy, simple thing, what does it mean?
Quality of life.
Perfect. Quality of life.
Mental well-being.
Mental well-being, excellent choice of words. Anything else? Come on, you're healthy, what are you doing? You're walking around, you've got energy.
Being happy.
Be happy, you're happier. You're happier, you're moving, you're talking, you're celebrating. Everything starts with health. So good health is very, very crucial. So basically it's peace, stress-free, more energy, economical well-being, because we need to live in a society where we have that access to healthier vegetables, fruits, and we're very, very lucky to be in Australia because we've got all of those things available on our doorstep. Okay, however, unfortunately, 1 in 3 people are affected by cancer. And these can be prevented, and that's what I'm here to tell you about. So it's unfortunately the leading cause of premature death and illness in New South Wales. We're talking only New South Wales here, so because this is Cancer Institute New South Wales. So cancer has a major impact on individuals, their families, and healthcare system. 1 in 2 Australians develop cancer, and 1 in 5 unfortunately die from cancer. So it's very, very important in terms of healthy living. So let's delve into what causes some of the causes of cancer. Smoking. I'm going to delve into this in a minute. Alcohol. I know it's the tradition to have a glass of wine sometimes, but unfortunately it's number one carcinogenic. Processed meat. How many of you here have processed meat? By ham, by salami, anything in a sandwich? Nobody?
I think everybody does it.
Yeah. I think we've got a very shy audience.
Probably the Aldi nuggets, popular. Sorry.
Lasagna.
Sorry.
Yeah. So processed meats, you know, the ham, the salami, the whatever you put in the sandwich. You have something to say? Say it loudly.
She's saying I'm not a vegetarian.
Oh, she's a vegetarian. Sorry.
Good.
Most of us are vegetarian here.
Okay. Who's not a vegetarian? Okay. Do you guys have processed meat?
Seldom.
Seldom? Very good. But anyway, the latest research has shown that it's number one carcinogenic, so please try and avoid it, if possible. So I'll delve further into the next slide. Would it be nice to have a clicker? Then I don't have to bend down. Just click. But anyway, all good. So let's look at some of the healthy things that we can do. So of course, exercise is one of them. We have to talk to, you know, not smoking, not make sure you're eating well, etc. So I think these are all common knowledge, so I'll just skip the slide. In terms of food, what they're suggesting is try to go for whole grain cereals, dairy, legumes, beans, and of course avoid sugary food, drinks, processed packaged foods, etc. Food and drinks with high in fat and sugar can lead to overweight and obesity. Fiber is very good in terms of your gut health, which is very, very important. So that is found in beans and legumes and whole grain fruits, the slide that I talked about before. This one. But we have to look at, if you guys are going to listen attentively, there are a little quiz at the end, and there's small little giveaways that we are incentivizing you to listen more. So this is going to be, the slide is going to be my quiz, so I'm just letting you know. The rest of it I won't let you know, but in terms of vegetables, we have to eat 5 serves of vegetables a day. And in terms of servings, we've got 1 handful of cooked vegetables, 1 fist-sized starchy vegetables, half a cup of frozen vegetables, 1 cup of raw salad, or a small potato. That's 1 serving, guys. You need to have 5 a day. Who has 5 a day? No one? Yeah. Warren says maybe, potentially. Potentially, yes.
You're a vegetarian, of course you do.
Excellent. So, but it's okay to eat frozen food, and it's okay to eat canned fruit, canned vegetables, but make sure that that doesn't have any salt. So better to eat fresh, of course, we know that as well, but it's important that I reiterate this. Okay, next. In terms of fruits, we're supposed to have 2 fruit servings a day. And this is 1 serving on the screen. So 1 medium-sized fruit, 2 small fruits or dried fruits, and 1 cup of fruit salad. Who has that at least? Excellent. Very good, Kate. Bhagya, excellent. Super. Okay, so legumes. I know there's a lot of vegetarians in the audience. Who has legumes? Wow, good to see. Okay, so they're saying that legumes like beans, lentils, and chickpeas are actually good for you and they prevent cancer. So that's the latest research. So keep going. So the ones that are doing it, that's excellent. Okay, so in terms of servings, half a cup of legumes is 1 serve of vegetables. Remember we needed 5? So half a cup is 1 serve. So if you have more than that, then you're, I think, covering your five servings of veggies. And of course, 1 cup of legumes of beans is also very rich in protein. So that's also an excellent source of protein, which is what we need. Now, in terms of wholemeal and whole grain foods, we have to have 4 to 6 serves of grain fruits. So let me tell you a story about my mum. When I was growing up with my mum, she would always think that brown bread was better than white bread, and she'd give me a little bit of pocket change and say, go get me some brown bread. And what I discovered after I started this project is that brown bread is full of sugar. Did you know that? Yeah? Yeah, I didn't know that. So they're saying stick with whole grain or wholemeal bread instead. So whenever you go shopping, go for those choices instead. So in terms of serving sizes again, 1 slice of wholemeal or whole grain bread. You can take some crisp breads, you can take porridge or oats. I think a lot of people have oats for breakfast, which is good. Quinoa, which is excellent, and of course pasta, wholemeal. Pasta is also excellent. In terms of, and you have to have 4 to 6 servings. So these are just some examples: wholemeal flour, whole grain rye bread, or quinoa and brown rice. So choose those. Now I talked about processed meat. I think a couple of you raised your hands, but most of them were healthier in this audience. So they're saying that processed meat is #1 carcinogenic, unfortunately, because it's processed with salt and other things as well. So red meat also causes cancer. There is good evidence, but not as solid as, of course, the processed meat. So be careful with your red meats as well. Salted and fermented fish can also risk your cancer. So the one that's lathered with soya sauce and other things, so be mindful of that. So things that I was talking to you about in terms of processed food, which is processed meat, salami, prosciutto, ham, bacon, mortadella. These are things to avoid or reduce. If you have to have red meat, for those that do choose to eat red meat, try to limit your size, and the size of your palm should be the size of your meat. If it's any bigger, it's too big. So 1 palm-sized lean steak, or 2 small chops, or half a cup of mince, or 2 slices of lean roast is what they're saying. And of course, be more active. I think there's a lot of young audience in this group, so being active is important. Don't sit too much. Move as well, as much as possible. Stay a healthy weight. What they're saying is that if you stay a healthy weight, you can help reduce the risk of breast cancer, ladies, by quite a lot. But also staying a healthy weight can reduce risk of bowel, kidney, liver, endometrial, ovarian, stomach, esophagus, gallbladder, pancreas, and prostate cancer. So staying healthy is super important because then you avoid that, all those risks. Your healthy weight range, an ideal range, of course you guys know, but you can go speak to your doctor in terms of your height and your weight, what's ideal for you, in terms of your BMI. Some fat is good for you, so, but you have to limit the amount of saturated fat. So who knows the difference between saturated and unsaturated fat here? Has anybody read the label when you look at the things that you buy? Do you ever read the label to see if it's saturated or unsaturated? Does anybody know the difference between saturated and unsaturated fat? Okay, just when you read the label, you'll see the difference, but basically, saturated fats are coming from butter, from meat, from whole milk, cheeses, from foods with hydrogenated oil, etc., which is not good for you. The things that are good for you are unsaturated fat, which comes from plants such as olive oil, canola oil, oily fish, omega-3. So these are healthier choices to make. Anybody smokes in the audience? No? No smokers? Excellent. Sometimes. Okay, somebody said sometimes. Thank you for your honesty. It's very important. Now, tobacco smoking is the largest cause of preventable ill health and death in New South Wales, unfortunately. Smoking is known for 16 different types of cancer. Someone who smokes and who doesn't quit loses 10 years of their life. This is in terms of research. Inhaling, so people who are smoking, but if you're standing next to that person, inhaling someone else's secondhand smoke is also harmful. The smoke inhaled, now I heard you say that you smoke shisha? Shisha, did you say shisha?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the smoke in an hour-long shisha is estimated to be how many cigarettes, do you think? 40? 40. Any other guesses? 1 hour of smoking shisha, you know the hookah, the pipe? Yes, everybody knows that? How many cigarettes is equivalent to 1 hour of smoking that shisha? Yes.
Maybe 60?
60? That's quite a lot, but yeah.
Or maybe 10.
10? No, I'm not saying it's incorrect, I'm just saying it sounds... The person who smokes the shisha. Sorry, I don't know your name. What do you think?
40.
40, you said 40. Okay, so you think 40. Well, let me tell you, it's 100 to 200 cigarettes. No, this is Cancer Institute's latest research. You can't be wrong. 100 to 200 cigarettes is what you're smoking in 1 hour.
But I smoke just for 30 minutes.
That's 100, 50 to 100 in Harvard. That's quite a lot of cigarettes in just 1 hour.
Wow.
So there is a website, shishanothanks.org, that has been created just for you. .au. So shishanothanks.org.au for further information. It's the same thing. So the smoking of non-tobacco products in a water pipe is of course also not safe, especially if you're sharing it, because even though they've got fruit flavors, sweeteners, etc., it doesn't reduce the harmful effects of smoke. So water pipe increases the risk of coughs, colds, flus, and other viruses. So, pardon? More healthier? Yes, so we need to be mindful of this. E-cigarettes, also known as vaping, because that's a question you just asked me, are battery-operated device. For those that don't know, does everybody know what vaping is? Yeah? It basically heats up a liquid and turns it into vapor, which is inhaled. The liquid contains a mix of chemicals, including toxic chemicals, which are harmful. So it was introduced because they wanted to allow people to give up smoking, but it's not as, unfortunately, it's hit the wrong audience. It's gone to the younger generation somehow, you know. Yeah, so I have a son, and, you know, he came home and he said that a lot of his friends are peer pressuring him into vaping, which is not good. The fact that it's gone to schools, and the fact that it's transparent enough to tell me, that's pretty, firstly, hats off to him, and secondly, it's not a very good thing if it's gone to the children. It's not meant for them, no? Yeah, crazy. I don't know if they don't want to.
Okay, it's really important, you know, that she has here, that has taken her time to present. Can I have you guys a bit of attention and also your mobile phones if possible? Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Just ask Shika. You just let me. It was there? Yeah. Oh, okay. Because Dr. Lu asked him to give us a big okay, let's do it. Already? This is okay. Yeah, I'll take you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. It's just some logistics issues.
I can hear.
So smoking is addictive and can be hard to stop. So we've got some resources to help people to stop smoking. Just before that, nicotine can cause a rush of adrenaline when absorbed into the body. Yes, it gives you dopamine, which is the brain's happy chemical. But when a person stops tobacco, their body starts recovering. Because remember what I said, it is the #1 carcinogenic. So by stopping the cigarette, you can actually, or smoking, you can actually reverse the effects. And of course save a lot of money, because it is pretty expensive. So there's a lot of incentivizations to quit. And the government has created a phone line, which is called 13QUIT. Which if you look on your keypad, it's 137848. So 13 quit. And basically they've got a helpline in different languages, which is Arabic, Chinese, Mandarin, Vietnamese, and other languages as well. So please go talk to 13 quit if that's something that you hopefully are encouraged to do from today's session. Of course, avoid alcohol. Now, there are some standard drinks, but unfortunately, alcohol is linked to 8 different types of cancer. So what they have discovered is mouth, upper throat, larynx, esophagus, the breast, female breast cancer, liver, stomach, and bowel cancer. These are all risks of cancer from alcohol. It is the #1 carcinogenic, which means that there is convincing evidence that alcohol causes cancer in humans. Even small amounts of alcohol can lead to cancer risk. So there's no level of alcohol consumption that is entirely safe. More than 3,200 cancer cases in Australia can be prevented if people limit their alcohol consumption. The Australian alcohol guidelines for adults will reduce the short and long-term harm from alcohol if they follow this. So if you must, they're saying no more than 4 drinks, standard drinks. And let me just give you an example of standard drink. A standard drink is 10 grams of pure alcohol, but there is a website called drinksmeter.com. So if you need more information, who drinks here, by the way? Just from an engagement perspective. Alcohol? Okay, very good.
Soft drinks?
Sir, are you following the guidelines?
Use only.
Is it no 4 standard drinks? No more than 4 standard drinks, I hope?
I drink whenever I want
Yes,
and drink a lot
you drink a lot. Even
and forget everything.
forget everything.
Yeah, because you feel that.
Very honest.
Is there incentivization to not forget? if we introduce some other things like healthier lifestyle. But let's discuss if we can help.
Sorry.
There are some social drinkers.
Yes. So somebody's saying there's social drinking.
Yeah, I indulge in social drinking.
Yeah.
You know, I meet the friends, we
Yes.
drink,
Yes.
and that's it. And that can be once in a month or once in 2 months, 3 months.
Okay. Well, if it's social drinking, it's okay, as long as you limit it to 4 standard drinks a day.
Sorry, it's drinksme.com.
Drinksmeter.com. Drinksmeter.com to know your standards of drinking. The standard drinking things.
What about wine?
Same, but it's a standard drink, right?
So it comes in the alcohol?
Yeah,
What?
drinksmeter.com.
No, I'm talking about the wine.
Yeah, wine is alcohol.
Alcohol.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
It is fine.
Okay, so I know people don't want to, but try to substitute to non-alcoholic drinks, and of course, the recommendation is to drink more water. But other non-alcoholic drink examples are soda water, or kombucha, or mocktails instead of cocktails, or half juice, half tap, or soda water. Pardon?
And there's
No beer.
ginger beer.
Ginger beer.
Ginger beer. Ginger beer. Now, in terms of other cancers, there's of course skin cancer, which is very, very high in Australia. The risk of skin cancer is pretty high in Australia. So you need to protect yourself from UV radiation from the sun. Even when it's cloudy, there is the UV level. It's pretty high. And I think in Australia they say 3 and above UV level is harmful for your skin. So there is a UV index app that you can download onto your phones just to see what the UV rays meter is. And 3 and above is what I've observed it to be regularly. So protect your skin. Slip, Slop, Slap was the original campaign that I remember in Australia. So put on a hat, sunscreen, glasses, etc. There's of course seek some shade and slide as well, just to extend on the slip, slop, slap, seek and shade. So they're all things that we have to talk about. Now we're very, very lucky in Australia. The reason why we're lucky is because we've got cancer screening in Australia, which is free of charge. So there's of course breast screening, there's bowel screening, and there's cervical screening. Now, who here is 25 and above?
25 and above.
There's some younger audiences, 25 and above.
Okay.
Only 2.
22, yes, me too. So 25 and above is cervical cancer. So if you're turning 25, go and check with your doctor and get cervical screening done. For breast cancer, it starts at 50. And for bowel screening, of course, it starts at 50. And I'll go into a bit more depth on bowel screening. So these are the slides for the age groups that I just mentioned. For breast screening every 2 years, for bowel screening every 2 years, and for cervical screening every 5 years. So if you're not doing that, please do it, or encourage your loved ones to do it. Because all the younger audience, you've got your parents, please encourage them, please encourage everybody that you know in that age group to get these things done, and it's free in Australia, so it's a win-win. Okay, so any questions on this before I go to bowel cancer part? Any questions, or was I clear? Yeah? Okay. I've got some shall we switch on the mic? Yeah. Got some sterilizer here. So whoever answers this will get some random things. How many vegetable serving sizes a day?
5.
Okay, who said it first?
I think I heard
Well, is someone please distribute it to the person who's here first, if you don't mind?
But We agree? Yeah? Okay.
Okay. One in how many cancers can be prevented? Very first line.
3.
All.
Okay, whoever said it. Nadia.
I had 3 female voice. So
How many servings of fruit a day?
3.
2.
1.
2.
3.
Am I
Two is
right?
the correct answer. So whoever said
you
2.
got this. Just raise.
Two.
I'm naughty. You're naughty. So 2, I heard it from here. No?
That's me. Again.
So she could give it to someone else this time?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Alright. So, what are the foods that we can have less of? Is it alcohol, sugar, or processed meat?
All.
All of
All.
these.
All.
Who said all? Who had said all?
All.
Yeah, Parker, you can take it from here. Thank you. Thank you. How many cigarettes in a shisha?
100, 200.
100 to 200.
That means 120 is between
No.
100 and 200.
There's no, 120 does not come between 100 and 200. If you have to choose, you have to choose a middle number, which is 150. But it's 100 to 200 cigarettes. Okay. Should we choose whole grain bread, wholemeal bread, or brown bread? Or which of the two? No brown bread.
Wholemeal, whole grain.
Brown bread is full of sugar. So whole grain and wholemeal bread. By the way, dairy foods is very good for you. It's been shown to avoid cancer as well. So have more dairy foods. How many servings of wholemeal and whole grain foods did I say in the slide?
5.
3.
Close?
3.
Close?
1.
Let
4.
me show you the slide.
2.
It's 6.
Who said 6? It's, yeah, that's close enough answer, but the answer,
Come on. Find out the numbers, eh?
here's my slide. Yeah, 4 to 6 serves of whole grain and wholemeal foods.
If you eat all that servings, you're going to get fat.
Maybe you can run it from her, yeah?
She will sell all.
What are the three types of cancers that we have free screening for?
Breast,
Breast, bowel.
Sorry.
Cervical. And the third one.
Breast, bowel, and cervical. Very good, thank you. Very well.
जाते हुए वैसे ले लेंगे.
What's the phone number for smoking, quitting smoking?
1 3 quit.
13 quit. 13 quit, guys.
Okay.
Okay. How many standard drinks a day maximum?
4. 4.
I can hear it from here.
Okay. Thank you very much for participating in this first session. Please fill the survey of that first part, if you don't mind. I'm now going to go quickly into the second part, which is covering one of the cancer types, which is bowel cancer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we do that, you really did well with the quiz.
Yeah,
so
excellent
let's
job
clap
with
for
the
each other, yeah?
That's right. Thank you. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to do bowel cancer. And there are more prizes, and there are 3 bags, these kind of bags, which are very good bags for shopping. So this is for the extra person who gets the last number of right answers. That's the incentivization. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
Excellent. Are you guys ready? Can I hear a yes?
Yeah.
Just humor me today, humor me. Alrighty, so we're going to go talk about bowel cancer now. Now, the reason why we're talking about bowel cancer, do you know what a bowel is? Where is a bowel? I'll tell you in a slide, but where's a bowel just so I know that people know or not? Where is your bowel?
Behind.
Bowel is where you have the stools, yeah?
Yes. Yes. But there's more to that, so let's come to that. So this is for you guys to pay attention. It's the third most common cancer worldwide. That's the sad part. So lung and breast cancer comes the first two, by the way. The reason why it's number 3 is because lung cancer caused by smoking and breast cancer are the first two. And unfortunately, Australia has the highest rates of bowel cancer in the world. Highest rate in the world. So I don't know what we're doing, but we have to prevent this. Highest. It's sad to know. Now, bowel cancer often develops without any signs or symptoms. There are no signs or symptoms. So you can have bowel cancer without even knowing it. However, the good news is it's one of the most treatable cancers if you're found early. And that's what we're going to be talking about. If it can be successfully treated, and it's shown to be successfully treated in 9 out of 10 cases, if you can find it. There is a simple free test, and I will be talking about that test right now, today, of how we can do this. But let's go into the deep specifics of what is a bowel. We talked about a bowel, so what is a bowel? So a bowel has 3 main parts. It's the small bowel, right there, in the middle. It's the large bowel, which is called the large intestine, or the small intestine. And of course the rectum. Rectum is where you pass your stool. So the small bowel, it absorbs the nutrients, which is the goodness from our food. That's where every nutrient goes, in the small bowel. The large intestine, or the large bowel, it takes in the water and the salt from our food. It absorbs the remaining water before it moves to rectum. And the rectum stores the waste material. And the cancer, when it develops, it's mainly in the large intestine. Okay, let's go further.
I have
Into-
a question. So is colon cancer is a large, yeah?
Yes,
Bowel cancer?
yes, exactly. Yes. So the bowel cancer can take many years to develop, so that's why screening is super critical. If you haven't been, who's been screened for bowel cancer? Those older than 50 in the audience? No?
I'm only 18.
I've been,
You've been?
yeah.
Okay. So what happens is the federal government sends you a kit free of cost in the mail. It looks like this. And this is not junk mail. Okay? It's very important because it can help you, and I'm going to show you how to do the test. And if you haven't got it, please ring a number that I will tell you by the end of the session and request one. And do this kit. It's free of cost. You have a self-addressed envelope. Do what I'm about to tell you in a few slides and just send it to them. And here is why. First, let's talk about what is bowel cancer. So the bowel is made up of cells. A lot of your body is made up of cells, but the bowel is made up of cells. For our bowels to stay healthy, old cells are constantly replaced by new cells. This is what's happening with the younger people here, who are looking very enthusiastic in the audience. Sometimes things can go wrong, unfortunately. Unlike normal cells, cancer cells don't stop growing. So the cells keep doubling, forming a lump that continues to grow. So it looks like this. All these cells that continue to grow, and they're called polyps. So these lumps can grow into polyps, and polyps basically means that there are small growths living on the lining of your bowel. It looks like a cherry or a stalk or something along those lines, but it can be removed, and if it's removed, the risk of bowel cancer is reduced or eliminated. But if it's not found early, there is a risk that it can grow and spread cancer cells into other parts of the body. So the overgrowth of cells is called a polyp. Most of them are benign, but some of them are cancerous. So who's at risk? So the risk starts at 50, but it can of course start at any age, but the majority of the cases that they found is that it starts at 50. Of course, if you've got a family history, if you've got existing disease, have type 2 diabetes, or an unhealthy lifestyle, it's important to get checked. So 9 out of 10 cases are found in age 50 and above, and for those with strong family history. But here's the shocking statistics. 8 out of 10 don't have family history when they develop bowel cancer. So just because nobody has got it in the family doesn't mean that you're safe. So 8 out of 10 don't have a family history. Of course, we talked about healthy living, but just to reiterate, smoking, poor diet, drinking alcohol, being physically inactive, being overweight or obese, these are all factors that can increase the risk of bowel cancer. And so by making healthier choices, you can reduce the risk of bowel cancer. So we talked about this, quitting smoking, eating a diet high in fiber, and doing a bowel screening test, being active, etc. Now, if, of course, there are major signs, but there's no signs in general, but if you have any symptoms, such as blood in your bowel movement, or you're feeling tired for no reason, or you've got a stomach pain, or you're losing weight for no reason, these are symptoms that you must get checked out. But generally, bowel cancer has no sign or symptoms. So let's talk about the test. The test can detect changes in the bowel long before the signs and symptoms occur. So if you're age 50 to 74, you are going to be sent by the federal government a free test kit by the National Bowel Cancer Screening Program every 2 years, and it looks like this. How do they know your address? They get it from Medicare. So through Medicare, they know who's turning 50, and they send you this in the mail every 2 years with a kit inside in a self-addressed envelope. And so let's talk about what it can happen. So basically, the reason to do this test is because it measures microscopic, tiny traces of blood in your stool. If tiny traces of blood can be found in the stool, they can detect it, they can do further tests like a colonoscopy, and then from there they can detect if there's anything that needs to be treated or removed. But it's minuscule, tiny traces of blood which you can't see in the naked eye, and hence why we need to do a test, and that's why they need to look at it under a microscope. Okay? But just as a checking point of what we need to check is that if you are bleeding from your hemorrhoids, if you have your menstrual period, ladies, if there's blood in your urine or toilet bowl, all of these things you have to make sure that you don't have, so that it doesn't confuse you with the other things. So if there's bleeding from hemorrhoids, you're gonna go to your doctor and get that checked out. If you're having, of course, your period, that doesn't mean that it's related to your bowel. So these are the things that you must check out. If you had your colonoscopy just recently, you don't need to do the test because they've already checked for that. So you need to, if in the last 2 years, you need to have the colonoscopy.
Okay.
Let's discuss what's in this kit. What are you going to get? Okay, it's a bit tricky with my microphone in my hand, so I need assistance. Yeah, thank you, Bhavya. Yeah, thank you. Can you guys see? I don't think they can see.
Okay, can they see it? Can you guys see it? Yes.
So you've got the toilet liner, which I'll go through. You've got 2 tubes that they will send, and I'm going to go through what the purpose of each one is. Looks like this. There's some liquid in this tube. I'm going to pass it around so you can see. And there's this Ziploc bag. There's, of course, a form that you will have to fill, and there's a self-addressed envelope. So the contents are fairly straightforward. Now let's see what you need to do. Thank you. So 2 toilet liners, as per the screen, 2 collection tubes, 1 Ziploc bag, and 1 reply aid envelope, this one. Okay? First thing, what you're going to do is you're going to open up this Ziploc bag. You're going to take this test tube. This is the trickiest part actually of the whole process, which is to write your name, on this tube. So the young ones can probably see better, but but yeah, that's the trickiest part in the whole process, is to write your details down on this tube. So we've spoken to them, we've told them that this is the tricky bit, but so there's going to be some improvements in the future. So we write the name. We take this toilet liner. Now this toilet liner does not flush. Before we do that, now I know this for some of you might be a gruesome topic because we're talking about the private part, but we all have to go to the toilet, every single one of us, and it's number 3rd in worldwide and number 1 in Australia. So the reason why I'm talking about it, it's not something that, an exciting topic that they've given me and I think, oh yeah, I'd love to jump and talk about this topic in an audience about, how people poo and their habits, but you have to do it because it's number 1 in Australia. So if I can break this taboo, so can you by listening as well. We've got this toilet liner. First, before we put this toilet liner, you go to the toilet and you do your number 1, which is your urine. You pass your urine. Okay? Flush the toilet. Obviously, you've got pressure to do number 2 as well. That's the whole purpose of this. You take the toilet liner after you've done your urine. You place it inside the toilet bowl, and it will float in the water on the toilet bowl. Okay? Then you do your business. Okay? Which is you pass your stool. Okay? Then you take this tube, you've got your gloves if you want. You take this tube, it looks like this, and all the laboratory needs is a minuscule, tiny part. You take the stick and you put it inside your stool. And you take it out and you put it in this tube and you shake it up. That's it. It just needs less than the size of a rice. It's very tiny. You don't need a lot to measure if you've got blood in your stool. So the laboratories don't need much. But that's enough sample for them to test under the laboratory. Okay? So this is what you do. You write your name. You do your number 1. You put the toilet liner. You take this tube. You open the tube. It's got liquid inside it. You take the green part. You put it inside your stool. You take it out, you put it inside here, and you shake it up, and you put it in the Ziploc bag. Okay. So this is the steps that I've spoken about. And you've got to repeat this process twice. So 2 days. But where does the sample go? Now remember, the sample is in a bottle, you're wearing gloves, you've washed your hands, so now, you know, the bottle is not, there's no unhygienic about it, but you're putting it inside this pouch and inside a Ziploc envelope, which is, you know, and you're wearing gloves as I said, so it's not unhygienic. You have to then put it in your fridge on the side somewhere, because it has to store. Okay, a lot of people in a lot of other audiences have said, but it's unhygienic because it's next to our fruits and vegetables. So let me just break that theory. It's next to nothing because it's in a Ziploc bag. You can also put it in this envelope as well, so that if you're really concerned that you're wearing a glove, so there's nothing unhygienic, and it could save your life. And as mentioned, there are no signs or symptoms. So, and you repeat this because you've got 2 tubes, and you've got 2 of these liners, and you repeat the process twice. Okay? Now, within 3 days, you must post it, because the laboratory needs the sample within 3 days. There's a form, you fill out that form, you write your name and address on this envelope, and you put the form and samples in this envelope, and you post it. Now, if you're putting it in that red letter box, given that we're hitting the summer period now, you have to make sure that you do it after 4 o'clock so that it's not exposed to the sun. But the best thing is to take this envelope to the post office directly in the shade, so you don't have any risk of contamination or anything. Otherwise, you can just post it after 4 o'clock. So within 3 days, you must do this. Okay. All clear? Any questions? Yeah? So a negative test, of course, means no blood was found. So you have to do the test every 2 years. A positive result doesn't mean that there's cancer. It obviously means that you have to do further tests and you need to find out why there's blood. And as I said, that stick is very minuscule. The sample that they need is very minuscule. And so they can check for microscopic blood. So you see your doctor, you have a colonoscopy, and you then get the results. But 9 out of 10 cancers, if they're found early, can be treatable. So you can save your own life. Nobody can save your own life more than, you know, responsible for your own life. So, okay, so these are just some information that I'm going to tell you. If you haven't received the test, or if you want to do something with it, you can go to dothetest.com.au. You can call that number. For those over 50 who have never done the test, please request this test and do it ASAP, because it is number 1 highest risk in Australia, this particular kind of cancer. So there is some collateral that I've got here. We're expecting an Indian audience, so for those that are Indian, there's brochures in Hindi as well, and of course English. So please take the flyer. That's it on this particular topic for me. Any questions? And before we go to the quiz. Ready for the quiz?
Any questions? No questions? So what is sorry, I'm a bit of statistics person, so I just want to understand, a lot of countries have seen the bowel cancer, the colonoscopy cancer, it's diagnosed very late.
Yeah.
Is it like underlying cases, lot of people don't get diagnosed and they reach actually metastasis stage because
Yes.
they couldn't identify the symptoms because they're living happily and healthy, right?
Yes.
Sorry.
Hence why we've got screening. So the question, for those that didn't know, the question was, a lot of times when a cancer is found, it's a bit too late. And the answer to that question is that's why the federal government has introduced screening. So the breast screening, the cervical screening, screening can be done by doing simple tests so that you can find it early. And if, 8 out of 10 cancers are found for people that don't have family history, and 9 out of 10 can be prevented because they'll just remove the polyps, the bad cells out, and then that can be found earlier because people don't take action.
Sure. And what is the accuracy of detecting with this early screening?
What they're detecting is this blood, right? So if you do, that's why they ask you for 2 samples. So they're detecting for blood, but if there's something found, of course, then you have to do a colonoscopy to get a further test done, a bit more thorough. Yeah? Yes, sir.
You said 2 samples there in the same day or
Different days, possibly.
after 24 hours?
Yes, if possible, probably one day today and one day tomorrow morning, and then ship it off. Yes, sir.
I just heard that you said if you have colonoscopy, then you need not go for a test.
Yes, because they've already done thorough checking.
Okay.
By doing a colonoscopy, they've already done a thorough checking.
It should be closer to the test date or
2 years after colonoscopy, you can do your test. You do this test again. But if you've done the colonoscopy within the last 2 years, you don't need to do it again.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, Bhagya, if you could help me with the, and then whoever gets the highest amount of answers right will get the bags. But you can give more of the other ones. So bowel cancer is what number of the most common cancer worldwide?
3.
Who said third? All right, Bhagya gave me 2. In Australia,
Bone cancer.
it is the
First.
highest rate of bowel cancer in Australia. If it's treated, if it's successfully treated, in how many number of cases? It can be successfully treated in how number?
9 out of 10.
Yeah. Perfect. What's the first step in doing this test? What's the
Bone
first
test.
step?
Bone test.
What's the first step in the bowel test that we need to do? What's the first step of the bowel screening? Pardon? Pass the urine.
Write down the
But the
name.
first step is to actually write your name on the
Write down
application.
name.
But yes,
Sorry.
it's
No.
good.
Write the name.
So no one had the correct answer, so.
No,
The
I said no, not write the name.
So the first step is to write your name. So let's go through this slide again. These slides there. So first step is to do this, writing, then pass the urine. Actually, he was right.
Yeah. he was-
Pass the right, pass the urine, then put the toilet liner. Okay. Within how many hours should you do the 2 tests?
24 hours.
I've got like 2 people saying at the same time, so let's give it to them.
Okay. What is that, when the abnormal cells grow, what is the, yes, so what's the terminology for abnormal cells? Where is it normally found in? Where are the polyps found? Which part of the bowel? Remember, the bowel is made up of what? 3 things. What is the bowel made up of?
Intestine.
Yeah, what kind of intestine?
Small and large.
Small, large, and rectum is your 3 things. One of the fun facts that I didn't tell you, and let's guess, how small is the small intestine? How small is the small intestine?
Very small.
Small is small.
Here, on the screen, you'll see the small bowel, small intestine. How small is it? Yell it out. Yell out the number. What is it?
How many diameters or?
Size of a pencil. Size of a pencil is what you were trying to say? What? Interesting fun fact, the small 50 centimeters long. It's not so small after all. Yes, it's looped around. Okay, then, how many samples of stools do you need to send?
2.
2. Perfect. What is it that this test is measuring?
Blood.
Yeah, microscopic blood. What is it that's measuring? Microscopic blood. If found early, how many types of cancer can, if it's found early, out of 10,
9.
how many can be successfully treated?
9.
9. Perfect.
In
Thank you.
that question.
And you are not ready.
Chalo, pura sentence.
Okay, perfect.
Last question.
Last question. Okay. What should the last question be?
Should be very
Last
tough
answer is
question.
Because what you did, Bhavya, what you did was you gave away the bag early. The bag was for those that got the most amount of right answers.
See,
Yeah.
still I have a bag in my hand.
Okay. I do have to carry my stuff back.
Fair enough.
Okay, but anyway, all good. I think we're good. Any questions, basically? I think we've covered all the questions from my end. Any other questions from your side? No?
I had one, but gone.
Gone?
Is it cleared or we forgot?
Gone.
Gone.
The questions are gone. Okay. Let me ask it again. What are the 3 types of screenings that we can do in Australia? Which types of cancers can be free screened?
Bowel, breast,
Bowel,
cervical.
skin, and
Okay, so make sure that you tell your family and friends. What age group is the cervical cancer?
50 to 70.
Cervical. Cervical.
50 to 74.
Cervical. 25 to 74. Every how many years?
5.
Every 2 years, I think.
It's every 2 years.
2
2
Five?
years. 2 years.
2 years. Bowel and underarms.
Every 2 years.
2 years.
Here we go. Let's bring the slideshow up. Does it come up? Every 5 years. Very good. Well done. Can you guys please fill your survey, please?
I did.
Did? Excellent. Because I do need those surveys back. Yes, so there we are. Breast screening every 2 years, bowel screening every 2 years, and cervical screening every 5 years. Bowel screening, it comes in a kit like this in your mail. Breast cancer, you will also get something similar. Ladies, for your mums, because I think we're all young here. And when you turn 50, you will get something similar for breast cancer, but we're not here to talk about breast cancer. And then go and get the screenings done wherever they tell you. And of course, for cervical, go see your doctor.
So how often do you do these seminars?
How often do I do the seminar?
Yes.
So CMRC right now have received a directive from the Cancer Institute New South Wales to repeat these seminars about bowel cancer and healthy living until May next year. So if anybody has a group that you'd like me to repeat the presentation to, please let me know, and through CMRC, I'll contact CMRC and then they'll resend me to do this talk. Because it's important to spread awareness, right? Because trying to save lives, it's a community engagement thing. Thank you so much for that question. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shika, for putting a beautiful presentation, and it's really important to save the lives. So awareness is so important, early intervention and prevention. So we got all this information, and thanks to CMRC and Shika for coming, and Cancer Institute, how can I forget, doing presentation and building this kind of awareness is really important. Thank you so much. Sure. And this presentation is also going to be available online. So if you would like to share the link
YouTube.
on YouTube, it will be there.
Sanjhe.
Sanjhe Vichar.
Sanjhe.
Sanjhe space Vichar. This presentation will be available on YouTube, and you can spread this link. You can send this to your friends and family so that they could actually hear it and see it, and they could benefit. Yeah. Thank you so much, and have a lovely audience. And we got some snacks and juice there. So if you would like to grab it, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I actually enjoyed. I'm just going to tell you the page, so I recorded the whole thing. It's Facebook Live, so I'll send it to you. No worries.
Guys, it's really important that you give the completed service before you
Yes,
leave.
please.
Yeah, thank you so much. If you can come and leave it here, that should be good. If you want to leave it here. Leave it here. If you can leave it on this table, that will be really good.
You want to say anything? You want to say anything about this?
Sorry, I'm shy. But this is helpful.
Salamat.
This one.
Yeah, I want to do that, so I'll book a call. We'll just follow that thing from us the space. Not in the summer, so we can do that. I just counted about, 17 and 23. That new restaurant where you they actually sponsored us, so we can just, and it was free. You can come if you want, I can get the space for you.
Black one, there is we just started. Yeah. Such a small world.
So there is a community hall.
Usually community halls.
I'm like, this is really conversation, and he's like, I said I would like to repeat this in the back channel. She said, go to my friend one time. I said, who is she? She's my wife. How funny that you're here. What a small world.
You want to say anything about this?
CMRC, right? Chicago, supported by Bowel Association. Hello, so we are here today. It's a great initiative by CMRC, supported by Bowel Cancer Awareness. And I think everyone should learn and listen from it. Thank you, Shika for inviting me to this event. There is the link that we have in the YouTube, and thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot the channel. Say hi.
Sanjhe Vichar.
Sanjhe Vichar ji did this amazing, sorry, you can cut that. So Sanjhe Vichar ji did this whole event, and he actually video captured the moment, so you can see it in YouTube. Also, I put it in Kate Green Facebook page. It's really good and educational lesson, and I think everyone should listen to it, including friends and family. So please do share and come to the next seminar. Thank you. Okay, I've got to go. Yes. No, it's been, and we'll take a photo together. Yes.